This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Longmont, Colorado. We are here with Dr. Mom, basically the digestion expert. Since 2004, she has been helping those struggling with digestive disorders. Dr. Mom, Deb, thank you for joining us here today. Let's start off sharing, first of all, you grew up as a country girl, basically a background in agriculture. What got you involved in this industry?
Well, it was my own health challenges, actually.
Interesting. So basically, this was a personal need that started. Tell me what happened.
Well, I did work in agriculture research, and I was exposed to a lot of chemicals at the time. I started getting more sinus infections every year, respiratory issues, ended up with some asthma, and the doctors couldn't really figure out what was going on. Plus, I had some other things going on. It just all sort of snowballed. I was actually stung by a bee and went into anaphylactic shock. And so all of these different things were going on in my life, and I felt totally lost. And I'd go into the doctor and say, I'm having these problems. I'm tired of being on antibiotics. They didn't have any answers for me.
Wonderful. Let me ask you this. Digestion, pretty simple enough. Quite honestly, something that a lot of people take for granted. We don't think about things like that if it's not bothering us. For those that are burdened, really it's a burden that happens quite often throughout the day because really every time you eat.
Exactly.
Tell me, when you come across people like this, are the symptoms sometimes, do they start off so slow that people basically question themselves as to, is there something going on, or they basically know it? Tell me about that.
Well, it does start out very subtly.
Okay.
So people might say, well, I ate something and it disagreed with me. Well, if that keeps happening a little bit more often and more often, we know that there's something going on and there's more of a root cause. It's not just a one-time thing.
Interesting. Be it a subtle coming on little by little or even chronic, what are some of the symptoms that we're talking about here?
Well, the clients that come to see me, oftentimes they just say they have horrible stomach pain. After they eat, sometimes even in between meals, gas, bloating is a big issue. So we know that there's some sort of dysfunction going on in the digestive tract.
Wonderful. And are we talking about also like acid reflux? Is that something that people experience?
Yes, extremely so. And it can be anything from a mild situation to something where it's actually burning all the way up their throat. They feel something stuck in their throat.
I used to really look down on acid reflux. Well, it doesn't sound too serious. It happened to me. I thought I was having a heart attack.
Exactly. It is. It's nasty.
It's terrible. Basically, if we go out there, we look at over-the-counter stuff we can get. They tell us to take a pill, cover up a lot of these symptoms. You really like getting to the root of the problem, and that's how you get your long-term results. Tell me why.
Well, like you said, medication just really does cover up the problem, but there is something dysfunctioning in the microflora in the digestion. And it's what I call the digestion ecology. So there's microflora in there that get upset, and we need to readjust that, reevaluate, and then heal the actual injury to the tissue in the digestive tract.
Wonderful. Let me ask you this. What are the risks involved if somebody basically leaves a lot of this unchecked? Basically, they don't take care of it. Can that spawn on or start other chronic problems?
Yes, it can. It often leads to immune deficiency diseases like arthritis, any kind of like lupus or fibromyalgia, even heart disease because of the inflammation in the body. So if you have a very well-functioning digestive tract, you have very little inflammation in your body. By undigested foods, it causes a lot of inflammation, and that can go to any part of the body.
Interesting. Share with us some of these programs here. Let's start off first of all with a digestive quick fix. What does that entail?
That entails a food sensitivity assessment. So the way I do that is through a form of biofeedback called muscle response testing. And the client will walk out with a list of foods that are actually what I believe are causing inflammation in their system. Their muscle testing weak on those foods. And it's a snapshot in time for that day. They will also come around or come off with knowing what's actually going on in their digestive tract. I test for candida, H. pylori bacteria, parasites, whether their digestive tract is functioning. Are they making enough enzymes? Are they making enough hydrochloric acid? So there's all kinds of different things that could be going on. And when they muscle test weak on those points, that gives us an idea that those are out of balance.
Interesting. How does that differ from the digestion rescue?
Digestion rescue goes a little bit deeper. So I muscle test for all the nutritional points and points for the organs and also for some toxicities. So the client will go away having a baseline health assessment or nutritional assessment, and then they'll also have a program to bring them back into balance. We'll also talk about a cleansing program and some detoxifying with the ion cleanse foot bath as well.
If I've got a real chronic problem, the digestion deep dive, is that the full meal deal?
That's the full meal deal. That's my favorite one, actually, because I really get to help people transform their lives. We do a lot of detoxification during a 4-month period, 16 weeks, and it also goes into your belief system. Do you believe that you can be well? Your stress levels, and how can we bring that down and deal with stress that's going to work long term for you?
So you're talking about, you start delving into some of the more modalities that you offer. Tell me a little bit about the theta healing. What is that and how does that work?
The theta healing is a way of actually finding limiting beliefs that keep people stuck where they are. They can't move forward. And that may be with healing, or it may be in relationships, in any aspect of their life. And the theta healing can actually change those beliefs and the vibration of those beliefs down to the DNA level. It is extremely powerful. I've seen amazing things happen with the theta healing. And when you use that in conjunction with nutritional counseling, it's amazing.
We're talking about head to toe, you cover it all. Speaking of to toe, let's talk about the ion cleanse with the foot bath. What is that?
That's where the client puts their feet in a foot bath of water, and there's something called an array that actually pumps ions into that water, which helps detoxify the body. And the client's water will go from clear to very dark and full of particulates, depending upon how many toxins are being drawn out of the body.
So, like you say, it's a very deep detoxification that they go through. Obviously, it's a customized for each person, basically, that walks through the door. You really have to know what's going on. And then you also believe in supporting the body, because basically if the body's working well, it's going to fight off a lot of this and maybe let it not happen in the first place. How are you able to do that with Reiki?
Well, Reiki is a form of energy healing. Once again, it's balancing the energy flow in the body, and if there's stuck energy, then the body can't heal the way it should.
Interesting. Is this something that basically you've done for many years, and have you had good success with it?
Yes, I have. It's extremely relaxing. It's very powerful for people who have been in traumas or accidents. People heal much faster with energy work.
Wonderful. Folks, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is Dr. Mom's website right there. On the website, you're going to find the contact information right there. Honestly, if you're not sure if this is something for you, she's just a telephone call away. She basically has been through this experience before, and she understands basically what you're going through. You can also see her education right there online, as well as some great testimonials of people who have benefited. Make sure and fill it out right there, and she will also give you a free report, and she can email you out some of the latest tips and advice that she possibly has out there as well. Let me ask you, obviously, like, you have gone through this yourself before. Do you feel you're really able to relate with people at a gut level?
I do, actually. I have been through it, and it breaks my heart to see people suffer when they don't have to.
Interesting. And like you said, when you did it, it was probably a rather overwhelming and lonely journey.
It was. It was a very dark time for me. And I see that in many of my clients are struggling.
Somebody out there who's struggling, they're maybe afraid to step out and try something. What would you tell them?
I would say find someone that you feel comfortable with. There's tons of information on the internet right now. There's lots of books out there. It's really important to get back to the basics.
Back to the basics. That you heard it there from Dr. Mom. It's a common sense, natural approach to health. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.